Hello there, YouTube. It's Saturday, May 7th, 2022, and it's my birthday. That's right, today's my birthday. But before I get out there and enjoy my birthday, I'm working on this red 560 SL. And today we're talking about the main bearings and caps. That's right, I'm just going to get right into it. So, hey, if you guys like what you see, give me a thumbs up. You know, if you're not yet a subscriber, become a subscriber. Click that bell because I'm going to be going live at some point when I go to try to start this car. And I think a live event's going to be just a fun time. The heads came in, I just picked it up, so I can start to work on those kinds of things. And look, it's in the description for any tools and products that I use. No one sponsors me. Let's just get this video going, and I'll see you on the next one. Alright, so if you guys remember, when we took out the crankshaft, I put each of the caps and their bearings in a bag. Here you can tell that I put that bearing in a cardboard. And that's just to protect it. I didn't want it to bang around and, you know, hit this other bearing in here. But I'm going to just clean these up and get them ready for installation. And so basically I'm just going to go from here to that little wash tank over there. I made sure that that's a very clean solvent, put through a filter. Alright, so that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to just take one out at a time. So this is cap number 5. Again, I think if you push it away from the tab, it's easier to take out. Same thing as inside the block itself. You can see those nice hash marks and everything. You know, again, there's nothing wrong with the cap. That's the back side of the bearing. Looks fine. And then the inside looks fine, really. We're going to clean this up. Alright, so then I really put it in there. I didn't want it to come out. So again, the one that goes to the block, we already looked at it, but we'll look at it again. That's the one with the hole, right? The one that goes on the block side. And it also has that nice oil thing. And then that's what really, that crankshaft just rides on oil between the crank and these bearings. There's a very fine tolerance. Alright, so now I'm going to go clean this up. And I have a bucket of clean water right underneath. Right in that little line that's like right over here somewhere, those little lines. So here's the before. Let's go take a look and we'll see how that comes out over here. And this is that crystal, and you know, normally it would clean things up quite well, but these little marks don't come off very easily. That's what we're going to start with.
So now that I've cleaned them with the water-based solvent, we need to protect them. You know, I don't know all the different materials this is made out of. It's probably an alloy of some sort and everything, but this is, you know, a steel, and we don't want anything to rust. But I'm also not quite done. I'm going to use one of these rags and some brakes parts cleaner. And then when we are completed, I'm going to use the WD-40, and I'm going to wipe everything with WD-40. I'm going to get rid of the WD-40. This is just for storage until we're ready to do a final install. I'm just prepping everything, and we know that it's ready for install. But before I install, I will clean them with solvent real quick and brake cleaner, dry them thoroughly, make sure they're super, super clean, and then we will put the bearing sets in. But that's another video, of course. Right now, I'm just cleaning it. And this is what I'm going to do with each one of them. We'll hit this one first here. All right, so that's about the best I'm going to get it. All right. Can definitely get more discoloration off with that kind of a solvent. No doubt about it. Is that the WD-40 now will probably break up whatever else might be on there. All right, so I went ahead and wiped it down. You know, you can see that there's still some discoloration and stuff inside there, but you can also see those hash marks. It's not going to rust. Those will go into the bag, and I'm going to do this 4 more times. Cap number 4. But we want to make sure these things are perfectly dry when we put them back in. So
the worst part of it is a little discoloration right there. See that? Start down here. See it? Well, unfortunately, my wireless mic failed me again. But all I said was, if you notice those lines on this thrust bearing, they're in that direction, which is how the thrust bearing goes back and forth. But I was curious on why those little lines like that. And then I noticed on the inside of this one, it had some discoloration. So something kind of got in there, I guess, at some point. It's not perfect, but it's not that bad. I think it could probably be cleaned up and reused, but you know, I don't know. It is a mark. Something I don't think I want to mess with.
what I don't like. Do you see that? It's not smooth like the rest of it. It's like that would drag. You got to look at that crank too to make sure it doesn't have a dry spot. This is fine. Our last one, number 1. I don't necessarily like this one either. It's on the block side. The one that's on the crank side's fine. Tap looked great. Other than the discoloration that I have on all of them.
So now looking over what we've got, this is bearing number 1. You can see we have some discoloration, and that probably needs to be replaced. This is bearing number 2, which I thought was probably the worst bearing out of them. You know, I think that's like a future seizure. I don't know, but I would say yes. Bearing 3 has just a little discoloration. There's really nothing there that's too concerned, but you remember there were scratches on the back side and stuff like that, but I think that's all probably how they work. And then here's number 4. This is probably okay, right? Because the whole purpose behind bearings is that it captures, you know, debris, so it doesn't rub against the crankshaft itself. It's a softer metal, it catches it and embeds itself into there. So let's see, number 5. And number 5 just had a little bit of the discoloration, so that was probably no big concern either, really. So that's where we're at, you know. I'm going to head and order some new main bearings. I looked at the crankshaft pretty closely, and I don't see any issues on the crankshaft. It's all bearings, and that's their job. The whole purpose of it is, if you think about it, every time you take out a spark plug or a little bit of debris gets past the air filter, these little small particles that get into your oil, if you've ever drained your oil, you see what comes out. And the whole purpose is that it can catch all the debris all the way through that whole deal and not destroy your whole crankshaft, right? Because we want to make sure now that what we found on those main bearings, we want to make sure that the crankshaft doesn't show any issues. If it needs to be reground or something like that, well, that's going to tell us that we need to get different bearing sizes. So that's what will probably be the next video, and I'll see you guys next time.